we interrupt this program with a special report.
I got a message for all you folks out there in Radio Land. So sit tight and bend an ear.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Manga Show, and this is the first take only. My name is Edgar.
Yeah, then this is Ben. This is the third take for me.
They weren't supposed to know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Now the magic is ruined.
I've been taught to count, and I've counted.
You want to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder first, right?
No, news.
No, news.
We're going
okay.
straight into the
I
news.
completely forgot.
Then Chainsaw,
Got
then
it.
Thor, then Dragon Ball.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Chainsaw. I wonder what that's about.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
right?
get straight into the news.
Yeah.
Good point, Ben.
Edgar, why don't you start us off, buddy?
All right. Well, it's going to start off like this. This is not so great news, but it is kind of big.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
That's such a good meme.
Like his eyes was like watching
Yeah.
something heinous.
I love it.
That's basically this. Unfortunately, this past week, or at least now recording this past week, Hideo Kojima was unfortunately falsely accused by a French politician for the recent murder of the former Prime Minister of Japan. He was assassinated, but Hideo Kojima is the creator of Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hills and Death Stranding. He tweets a lot, so he's kind of always kind of texting or tweeting about all the things he does. And apparently, the politician took a claim or I don't know what he did. It was on 4chan apparently, where a user satirically said, "Oh, this is the killer of this is the assassin they're looking for," and it was a bunch of pictures of Kojima, which he clearly isn't the assassin. They've already caught him, real guy. But this French politician started going forward with it, and it went on several other news networks, and Hideo Kojima's photos were just being displayed and being,
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, being credited as this assassin, and he was like, "That's not me," and people were quickly realizing that it's not Hideo Kojima. And then, this politician is a French politician. He's super right-winged, apparently. And he was going full on out with this
so it's
false information.
So it's like when the right wing people in America were going through that Venezuela, they were the Venezuelans were assassinated, the prime minister or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. And he took this information, but the French politician has now apologized and apologized for taking the apparently joke information for
I don't want to
real.
get political, but
No,
that's
I know.
already better than the right wingers in America.
I know.
They wouldn't have apologized.
But now the game creators company, like Kojima, I don't know what the company is called, but his company, Hideo Kojima, has made a statement to sue against the spread of false information. So basically, if you do this again, we're gonna sue.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I thought they were thinking of dropping him. Thank
No.
God.
No. They had his back.
Good.
Hideo Kojima. Apparently, Hideo Kojima was about to tweet something about the Minions movie, which he just saw, before he realized that he was being
accused for
murder.
assassination.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
What a change.
It's just a huge jumble.
Imagine typing up, saw the Minions movie, it was great, and then having to delete it and go, "No, I did not kill the Japanese prime minister."
One of my favorite moments in Twitter news is and this is also it was also just unfortunate timing, but the comedic likeness of it is absolutely hilarious. I screenshotted it because it was just that funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was I sometimes news just appears on your Twitter. It says news for you. This is something big that happened, and I was following The Weekend, and news appeared like this: Vladimir Putin announces special military operation in Eastern Ukraine, which is the start of the war that's going on.
Right.
And then The Weekend tweeted, "Let's go!" because he was about to release an album or something like that, and then he had to tweet, "I'm sorry, that was not supposed to be timed," because a lot of people received it like this.
Oh no!
So people were just getting on their screens and like, "War has just started," and the weekend is like, "Let's go,"
Oh,
which is like terribly. I mean, it's funny in the moment, but it was like awful. It was like another huge misunderstanding that reminded me of this moment. Everything's all cleared now with Hideo Kojima, and hopefully nothing like that ever happens again.
Right.
Yeah, that's not like the only bad news I got. Do you have any other bad news? Hopefully to kind of.
Let's see.
Because I have other stuff, obviously.
I don't think I have kind of disappointing news, but I don't think I have anything bad.
Let's just go with that real quick, if you want, just so.
Yeah. Well, disappointing in the sense of,
Boruto confirms 10 more seasons.
Yes. No, the Emmy Awards, right?
Oh yeah, that they just really Well, there's some good things about it, but
some good things
give me the bad news first before we talk about the good things.
Well, it's like I said, it's not bad. It's disappointing. But the main headline for this is that the Primetime Emmy Awards nominate Star Wars Visions anime short The Duel for the award. And I believe this was the one. Yeah, just that one. Oh. I believe that was the one when they were in
the
space.
First one. Oh, The Duel?
Yeah, I think The Duel was when they were in space, and it was like the sister and brother. And they were like battling each other in space somehow, and they weren't suffocating. We'll search it up. It might have been the first one.
It's the first one, yeah. It's the one with the red lights.
The samurai one?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Great animation.
All
of it's great.
That was by Studio Trigger, right?
No, Studio Trigger did the other one with the blonde chick.
Yeah.
And multiple arms or something.
So the staff of the Primetime Emmy Awards revealed on Tuesday that they've nominated Lucasfilm's Star Wars Visions anthology of animated shorts for outstanding short form animated program at the 74th Annual Awards. The staff specifically nominated the animated short The Duel for Star Wars Visions. The 75th award have also nominated Love, Death, and Robots animated anthology series for the same category for the short Jibaru. Polygon Pictures animated The Very Pulse of the Machine segment for the series' third volume. This is when we start to get disappointing. Mm-hmm. Right. The other nominees are Robot Chicken. Okay. The Boys presents Diabolical. That was good.
Yeah.
And When Billy Met Lisa. Okay. We're also nominated in the same category. This is when we get really disappointing. No anime received nominations in the Outstanding Animated Program category.
Disappointing, but I'm not really surprised.
No, not surprising at all.
They don't pay attention to that.
Not surprising at all, which is just absurd. I don't like. But do you want to hear the nominations for the animation?
Yeah. There's only one I really like, but go ahead.
Simpsons.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know why.
Like Simpsons has. Like I love.
I don't hear anything about it.
I love
days.
The Simpsons, but it's been dead for 10 years.
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers. Okay. What If? Obviously.
No, I don't know. I don't think it deserves.
I don't think it deserves it either. I liked What If, but I don't think it deserves
premise,
it.
Unique style, but nothing worthy, nothing award worthy.
This is going to win. Arcane League of Legends.
Arcane. I saw it. It's great. Definitely deserves it.
And Rick and Morty, obviously.
That's all right. Yeah, I can see that.
But it's just like I love Arcane and I love The Simpsons and I love What If, but they just don't hold the candle to anything coming out of Japan. I just
you really got to check out Arcane, Ben. It really is something.
I've watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I loved it. It's everyone. It's just something so weird to think. I was like, I don't want to get it. It's League of Legends. And they're like, oh, you don't need to know anything about League of Legends. It's like, yeah, people say that, but really you don't. And they're like, no, really, you don't have to know. I'm like, oh wow.
No, you don't.
I hope it wins. It's really great. But you're right.
I'm just gonna say I don't like League of Legends. It's such a boring video game.
I don't
watch
have any
and play.
concept of
It's
the game.
I
just hear if you get sucked in, you're screwed.
Yeah,
exactly. It takes your life.
Yeah.
I know Eric, is like a friend of ours, played it. I think it was into it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, either way, great series, and I just wish, like you said, that anime would get recognized. Because they deserve a lot.
Yeah.
The same way Oscars are starting to look towards the East to Japan anime films awarding them not just Ghibli movies. Hopefully more than that. And I hope the Emmys start to. Well, The Visions is a nice step forward, but it is Disney, so it's kind of if anything was going to get nominated, a Disney-owned product was probably makes sense.
Yeah.
That was, I know it's not really related, but I saw that Better Call Saul, Stranger Things, and Euphoria got nominated for best series.
Yeah.
I don't know about anything else. I just hope Better Call Saul wins because
I think Stranger Things was also nominated, so I think that'll probably win.
I just hope a lot of people hope Euphoria doesn't win because
because it shouldn't.
Yeah, because it just
because
shouldn't.
it doesn't make any sense.
I know. Yeah,
like the story doesn't, and the character development.
I heard for
is
people.
whack.
I heard people who
it's
even
awful.
liked the first season instead of the second season.
No, it just makes no sense.
Right.
It just makes no sense.
Yeah. So
yeah.
let's move forward.
Let's move forward.
My Hero Academia Hero Fest 2022 is scheduled for July 24th.
Yay.
The first episode of season 6 will be pre-screening in Japan.
Yay.
Lucky. Why did they get everything? We're gonna get. I mean, I don't know how much news or how much reactions we're gonna be able to get from that.
Right.
Hopefully, it's good stuff. But if it's a filler, but they're premiering. I don't think they've done this for other seasons before, right?
Yeah.
Because usually the first seasons for all My Hero seasons, except for the first one, have been filler, and recap. And I've been okay with that. It's just recently the previous season they added more filler in the middle of the season, which I don't like.
Gross.
But if all seasons of seasons, the first episode and following should not have any filler.
No.
The fact that they're pre-screening this, it gives me a feeling that it's not going to be filler. They're just going to go running with the ball.
That's what I assumed.
They're going to hit the ground running.
I assumed. I mean, I think that they might have an event or like just something that is a recap. I think they did that for season 2. But yeah, I don't think they need it. Like, just keep going. Everybody knows the story at this point.
They really shouldn't.
If I hear 75% of the world has quirks.
We live in a society where
dude, I'm
Deku
like, oh my
crying,
God,
pointing at the
please
screen.
Stop, please stop. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Oh man, beach episode? Question mark?
No beach episode either. They already had one this last season. It makes me angry.
Who wants more? Show of hands. I mean, I'm the only one raising my hand.
I'm not raising my hand at all.
All right. Love is War gets a movie. The title is Love is War.
Wasn't this already announced?
It was announced that a new project was going to be coming, and it was rumored it was going to be a movie or a new season, but we didn't know. But now it's confirmed. We're getting a new movie titled Love is War, The First Kiss Never Ends, which is adapting the next arc of the same name, and it will air on television in Japan after a special screening in theaters. So lucky few people will get to see in theaters, and then it'll air in Japan. And hopefully it's simulcast on Crunchyroll, so we can all see it when it comes out.
Yeah.
Super great. I hear a lot of good things about the next arc. It's gonna be fantastic. Can't wait for that. Ben, you got something?
Great. Yes, I do. One Piece and Detective Conan creators will sit down for a landmark joint interview. Why is this a landmark? Well, let me say. Manga legends Ichiro Oda, who created One Piece, and Gosha Aoyama, who created Detective Conan, have sat down together for a landmark joint interview, despite drawing for rival publications. So this will be the first ever joint interview by two illustrators of two different publications.
What are the companies?
Let's see. Well, let me.
Is it Shonen Jump and then?
It's Shonen Jump and Shogakukans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, despite drawing for rival publications, the interview will be published in 2 installments across their respective serialization magazines. Shueisha Weekly Shonen Jump will publish the first part on July 25th, while Shogakukans Weekly Shonen Manga will release on Sunday and will publish the second part on July 27th.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Detective Conan.
I don't either, but I know it's legendary. So
I hear it a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
The only thing I know about Conan is the talk show host, the late night host.
Definitely. But it's just great. It's fantastic to hear, just keep,
rivals,
keep
putting
collaborating, specifically in America. Studios just, they're so toxic to each other when they collaborate.
When they collaborate, it's only with the incentive of making more money.
Making more money,
like by putting,
i.e., Sony and Disney. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all about that, and they stab each other in the back. Just try and keep good relationship with other manga publishers, please.
Yeah. The Tower of God Manhwa will go on an indefinite hiatus.
I've heard about this.
After chapter 550. Wow, that is a lot of chapters. I don't know how manhwas usually go long for. I know they're read up through down.
I saw that and I was like...
And they're in color.
I was like, I want to read Tower of God. And then I saw the chapter number and I went, ooh. I was like, that might have to be low on the list.
How long is it? Because if that's I'm surprised that it's that long.
How big is the Tower of God?
How
Surely
big-
they have to be done climbing it by now.
Yeah, right. They must have reached the. One could say about One Piece. How rare is how how unsearchable
How have they not
is
found
the
the One Piece yet?
It is is One Piece. Like,
Yeah,
how can you not find
exactly.
it? But it goes on hiatus after this chapter 550 due
Okay.
to SIU's or CU's health condition. That's the author's name. Yeah, so
man.
that's unfortunate. That
Another health condition.
yeah, even
Just add 'em
manhwas
to the
get
pile.
affected to
Of
like
course.
yeah. It's not just manga in
God.
Japan. It's also it affects Korea too.
Just slow. I understand the publishers are like, we gotta release it weekly. But just come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
slow down. Like, if they need a week, just be like, yes, just take a week.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I know a lot of people look forward to this whenever it comes out because the anime was great, but people prefer the manhwa better.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
people love this a lot. So it's unfortunate to hear this.
great.
Anything else before we got two big ones?
Yeah. I have some more unknown news. So Hirosha Noda Takahiro Wakamatsu's No Longer Allowed in Another World manga gets TV anime. So first of all, I just wanted to say the design looks cool. It
Can I see
looks
it? Does it show
like ancient.
I'll look it up if you
Yeah.
have it.
It's called No Longer Allowed in Another World
All right.
manga. And this year's combined 32nd and 33rd issue of Shogakukan's weekly Big Comic Spirits magazine revealed on Monday that Hiroshi's Noda Takahiko Wakamatsu's No Longer Allowed in Another World, or Isekai Shikaku, my bad. Isekai
It's an isekai. Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
Manga is getting a television anime adaptation. Seven Seas will release the manga's first volume physically and digitally in October. The company describes the story as thus: a second life in another world with cute girls by your side and video gamey powers? Sounds like a dream, right? Not so for a certain melancholy author who would quite literally rather drop dead. Honestly, all the fantastical adventure is just getting in the way of his poetic dream of finding the perfect place to die. But no matter how much he risks his hide, everything seems to keep turning out okay. Will our terminally depressed hero find a new lease on life in this cheerfully bleak isekai comedy? Find out in the anime. Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
Seven Seas. I know they're the publishers or the distributors, or I don't know which one, for
Yeah.
Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah,
I also
yeah,
heard
yeah.
one of their, they also got unionized in one of their sectors or whatever you call it.
I heard,
So it's
yeah.
good news.
That's great.
Yeah, can't look forward. I mean, I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
Another isekai manga isekais usually don't happen because they're usually light novels, but this sounds
really?
interesting. Yeah.
That's good. And then the other one is, have you heard of this, Edgar? I saw that it had an anime, but I feel like it just wasn't released in the West well. Golgo 13.
Never heard of
Have
it.
you heard of it? Okay.
No.
Golgo 13 manga franchise has 300 million copies in circulation. So, Shogakukan's listing of the first volume, Gunsmith Dave, the first ever spin-off manga to Takao Sato's long-running Golga 13 manga, states that his overall Golga 13 franchise has 300 million copies in circulation. Gunsmith Dave launched on Big Comic Zokan in July 2021. The manga ended Season 1 on May 17th. Sato and Sato Productions are credited with creating the manga. The protagonist Dave is a constant helper who makes Duke Togo's impossible shots possible, working an unseen job that he nevertheless draws pride from, and is one of the few people from Duke Togo's trust. Saito passed away in September of 2021. Golgo 13 remains the oldest manga still in publication. Shogakukan said before his death, Sato said that he wanted the manga to continue on without him. And
Sorry, an ice cream truck. was
yeah,
just
I
passing by.
think there's an ice cream man.
That's all right. I was getting scared. I'm like, where's that coming from?
I was like, Edgar, are we gonna die?
Yeah, I thought we
Dude,
were like
I haven't seen like an ice cream truck in so long.
ice cream trucks have like a liminal space
Do
vibe.
they
like,
normally drive through here?
this is the first time I've ever seen one in ever. I don't even think I saw one ever last year.
It's got to be a spy, surely. There's no
We're gonna
way.
die for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
I'm sorry, Ben. Keep going.
So the author died in 2021, but it's continuing, and it says here that it is the oldest remaining manga that is still in publication.
Oh, still in pub. Well, is it the oldest period or?
It's the oldest from start date to finish.
That is.
Yeah.
How have I never heard of that before?
Yeah, I don't know.
So when did it start? Does it show you when it started?
I don't know. Let me check up.
Yeah, that's super interesting to the longest one, either period or from start to finish.
Yeah, it might have been an error from the. No, I don't want to know when the television started. Jeez.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but the manga
Interesting.
author died last year.
That's
Yeah, it
unfortunate.
started January in 1969.
wow.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's like the moon launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Before
is.
that, yeah.
It is. It is.
It's
It definitely
crazy.
is.
Woo!
Wow. Yeah,
I don't know if
Go
it-
13,
yeah.
the oldest ongoing manga, is one that you haven't heard of. Maybe we should. Maybe I'm gonna put this on my list and just to check out.
How many chapters is it?
Oh God, I think it must be a series with multiple chapters like in the world. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
That's a good question. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's
More
keep
than
going.
One Piece? Question mark.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely.
I
But
just have two big ones. One of them involving Chainsaw Man. But if you have anything else, I just like you to throw it out. before
sure,
that.
sure. Do you have the Castlevania one?
No.
No. Castlevania Animator directed a Dragon Ball fan film with eye-popping animation.
Oh yeah, I told you about this.
Lots of people love it. Go watch it.
Yeah,
Go
usually
support this.
Usually when something fan made happens, when you make something good, like making something like anything,
Yeah.
it sometimes never gets seen. There's a lot of great stuff fan made or anything that never gets noticed. But I'm
Yeah.
glad this is getting noticed because I think it took 4 years for them to make this, and it was only like a small team, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Animation looks better than a lot of other animes these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Dragon Ball fan, but it's just great to
It
see
looks
everyone supporting
better than
it.
the Super Television series. Well,
Wow.
until the end of the
Yeah,
series.
but it looks great. Go
Yeah.
check it out. Even if you don't like Dragon Ball, the animation on this looks sick.
yeah, and the fact that it's the Castlevania
And the fights just
animated,
consecutive.
yeah.
Like the fights, it just goes like all the
Yeah.
way. It's like
Oh,
not,
he's not, sorry, he's not the Castlevania director. He's just an animator on Castlevania.
Oh,
and he
okay.
directed it. So,
yeah, I was gonna be like
yeah.
director.
Yeah,
I'm like,
give
wow,
this
that's
guy
a big step
directing
down.
job, you know,
Or like a
yeah,
bigger animating supervisor or something like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
definitely.
I heard great things about Castlevania.
Yeah.
That it's amazing animation and it's like one of the best West
It's from a
series.
video game, right?
Yeah, Castlevania.
Yeah.
It might have been based. Might have been based on something else, but I've only played like one Castlevania game, which is super fun. And you
Yeah.
can play the character in Smash.
And Smash,
Yeah.
yeah. The two of them, I
Yeah.
think. I think it's
But
what are the names?
I
I know he goes Arcfire.
Simon.
Yeah, Simon and Richter.
Yeah,
There you go.
but
Yeah.
I heard great things about the dub because not only
Oh,
is
really?
the dub amazing, well, the voice acting. I don't think it's Japanese. I think English is the standard language. But either way,
Yeah.
not only is it amazing from what I've heard, but it's accurate like accents
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So go you guy, like making
Yeah.
your own stuff. Like Toei Animation, get this guy on it. Like because we need more stuff
Toei
like that.
Animation, listen to me.
Don't screw it up.
Copyright this.
Oh yeah, I was
'Cause
thinking about
they
that.
They might go
Can
after
you
it. Yeah.
imagine the hellfire, the storm that Toei Animation will receive if this gets taken down? Are you kidding me?
They can do it. They can do it.
It would be sad to think that if they did it and they don't get
Yeah.
retaliated or punished for it because this is too good. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't touch this Toei Animation. There's other stuff worthy of taking down like actual movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucks.
No kidding. No kidding.
So anything else?
I'm guessing you got the Dr. Stone
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Dr.
buddy.
Stone Ryusui special just released.
Yep.
Ben hasn't seen it, but you read the manga, so you already know what happens
Yeah.
in it. I don't know if you heard, and the ice cream truck is passing by again.
What?
I feel like we should just get something.
Yeah. Let's walk out with your laptop and be like, "Hey, do you want to be on our podcast?"
Yeah. He's like, "What's an anime?"
Yeah.
It's like,
He's gonna be like, "No."
but I don't know if you heard at least, but Good Morning World had a second version rendition by Burnout Syndrome.
Really?
Yeah, so it's the same opening, but they just have like an orchestral kind of lighthearted version of it.
Ooh.
So it is new,
I
and it's
like
by
it.
the same band, but it's like different.
we love Burnout Syndrome.
Yeah.
We love them.
It's 54 minutes long, from what I remember. It continues straight on from the manga. There's like a small recap moment, but it's incorporated really funnily. At least I
Right,
think it
right.
is. I can't remember. It felt like it.
Yeah.
After this, it was announced that the third season would premiere in spring 2023. Fantastic. And that the new season and arc will be titled Dr. Stone New World, which is
Yeah.
great.
Brand new world.
I
Sorry,
can't-
that's a One Piece meme.
Obviously,
reference.
if you've seen this special, you would know that the new character is introduced, Ryusui, not a pirate, but he's a sailor, or I don't know what the exact title.
Yeah,
is.
he's like the son of like a big ship company people.
Nanami Corporation. I
Nanami
think?
Corporation, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like Nami, like One Piece. So I was like, that's
Too
on the
actually
nose.
might be, because he has so many references to One Piece, and of course he obviously drew.
Collaborated.
He collaborates and redraws some of the stuff, and he drew the Ace novels and stuff like that. Yeah,
But Ryusui, it's funny. Every time I watch like animes like this, I know what happens. I just don't know what it takes to get there. And I was like, oh yeah, this happens. And like the anime just really nails it. Ryusui is like a huge plus. Saying this, his voice actor is amazing. He has a boastful, like cocky side that kind of reminds me of Rengoku, but a little.
Oh, I love it.
But like a bit more cocky.
Like the way he's like, ha ha, I desire it. I desire it all, or something like that. I love it.
So the voice actor.
Crunchyroll, if you're listening, that was my audition.
Oh yeah. Do another take, Ben. I think we can do better.
What else does he say? He goes. Oh, he says, I desire it all, and then he says something else. That's his catchphrase. He goes, because I desire it all. And then he says, oh man, he says something else. I know, because I know he laughs a lot.
He does. He's voiced by Ishigami in Love is War in the Japanese voice actor.
Really?
Yeah. So he's really great. He did a phenomenal job, but honestly, Gen was probably the highlight of this special.
Really?
Yeah, he just nailed this voice actor. Is just like hilarious. Obviously, like,
I love Gen's dub too. He's great.
Absolutely hilarious. They build a ship, and then like, Ryusui is like, I know exactly what to do. Like the storms, like I can read the weather and all that, which is great. And then they build the airship, like not the blimp, but they build a hot air balloon essentially, which is great.
Right.
Really a nice moment. Coming to seeing the manga come to life and seeing all the little moments that I completely forgot about, like the making of the money instantly, and he like brings
the dragons.
Yeah, the dragos. Like he
that,
brings like an economy essentially, and then like Senku and Gen easily start manipulating it by like making clothes, so people start spending it. And also they make the poor mangaka artist draw the money because like he's like the only one that can accurately do it, which is super hilarious. But a lot of great moments acted in this, and the animation looks good. It's not a movie, so I wasn't expecting a bigger budget. It's like on the same level of the show itself, because it is the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's great, and it sucks that we have to wait. Well, spring isn't that long, but you know what I mean? It sucks that we have to wait.
It's still a while away, yeah. And that means for us dub watchers, we're going to get it like 6 weeks afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully the dub comes out soon, so it can build even more hype for that. But I really hope that Aaron, what's his name?
Aaron Dismuke?
Yeah, Aaron Dismuke.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back for the dub, because it would suck to start off another one of his biggest roles without him. Because like I really love the guy.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like he is Senku and he has such a unique voice. I don't know. I don't know if as much as we love the other voice actor who stepped in for him.
Yeah, Clifford Chaplin. Voice of
I don't know if he could.
Obviously, yes.
In for him.
Because with Love Is War, obviously no one could be replaced, by anybody.
Yeah.
But like it kind of worked for Love Is War, because
it's so funny you say that, because in the acting industry, it's the big thing is everyone's
it's otherwise
replaceable.
Yeah, I know,
but
right?
it's just like, I feel like in the voice acting industry,
in the heart to the
they're
fans,
very loyal.
Yeah,
the voice acting industry is very loyal.
Yeah. So with Love Is War, it's Aaron Dismuke, or I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Dismuke. I'm just gonna say it like that. In Love Is War, he doesn't sound as Aaron Dismuke as usual, so it kind of worked that Clifford Chaplin didn't like. It kind of worked, you know what I mean? Like it's not noticeable, but Senku, he just like. He really leans into it, so it would be really obvious if he was replaced by most people. So I really hope that he's recovered, or hopefully recovers soon, or that they hold it off a few days so he can come back. Yeah.
I just want to let you know, the past 5 minutes I've been trying to find his other catchphrase, and I can only find "I desire it," and he says just that. But
he always calls Francois. He always calls.
Yeah,
her.
he always goes Francois. I love his snap. It's really good. But yeah, his "I desire it all" is very akin to "get excited,"
Yeah.
So.
It's so great. all the moments leading up to it that the girl's like, you don't want this guy, trust me.
Oh, of course. Of course.
It's great. Oh, you should check it out. Obviously,
Yeah.
like
I'm gonna go home and watch it after this.
Yeah, it's great. It feels like, hey, it's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we gotta wait for like 8 months.
Yeah. As it usually goes. If you're that
Yeah.
impatient, read the manga.
Read the manga.
Oh, just a
read the manga.
Just a quick small topic note. It's interesting that One Punch Man and the Dr. Stone mangas are known as some of the best, arguably some of the best art
Yes.
ever. And One Punch Man got like a lot of slack when it lacked in quality of its animation with its anime in the second season specifically. And I was watching the Dr. Stone the anime and was realizing how much of an obvious difference between the anime and the art style of the manga. But I never see that much like slack. I mean, not saying that the anime is bad, but you can clearly tell that it's like, weak. But obviously not just because of the comparison, just because you know what I mean? But like, no one cares about it that much, or no one gives it that much. Maybe because like One Punch Man is an action, and like that's where it matters, and like because it's so noticeable in the action.
Well,
with Dr.
and
Stone.
also we talked about the slingshot effect. I think that also, like how it goes from 0 to 100 has to be so clean. One Punch you have to spend a couple of years on each season to get right. I think Dr. Stone, when Boichi is just such a brilliant artist, but he uses shadows and depth and in a way that you just really can't replicate in animation without spending maybe 10 or 15 years on it. So they found a way to do it that works, I
just remember I'm always going to be not a defender of season 2 of One Punch Man, but I'll always be like a guy where like it's really not as bad as y'all are making it out to be. And there's a lot of moments in One Punch Man season 2 that look better than Dr. Stone. Obviously they're different studios and they're different, Dr. Stone's not a battle shonen. But I feel like people don't put it on the same level, even though like the art styles are that much different. But people always want One Punch Man to be like, oh, if it's not this, then like don't even touch it. You know what I mean? So, but with
the first season was just so purely amazing that
even if it was Madhouse still doing it, and if they slightly like went off, people would have been. I forget. People would have been.
No, they would have.
I just feel like it's a bit unfair to say the least. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
What else happened? What else happened this week big in the manga world? Oh yeah, Chainsaw Man.
Oh yes.
I completely forgot about it. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man Part 2. Chainsaw Man has now returned with a new chapter, Chapter 98 or Chapter 1 and Part 2. I don't know how they're doing. And on the app that I read it just said
it's Chapter 90.
Yeah, it just continued right after it. But it is Part 2. It is officially back. I had Ben read it because like this is huge and we get it, you know what I mean? I was like, have you not read it?
It was a quick read. There wasn't that much dialogue in it.
Yeah,
there's not that much dialogue in Chainsaw Man. There's a lot of things to look at, but not much dialogue.
Dialogue is really unique. It's just like they say cool things. But Bucky the Chicken Devil, I did not expect the first panel to start off like that.
Yeah, I read the first panel and I was like, what?
Where's the Chainsaw Man?
But what I like about this is that it is not an antithesis of the first. It's a parallel and an antithesis of the first chapter, which is what you want. You want your story to connect in ways that are. And the mangaka's just going, the themes of the last part. Well, it's also going to continue on into this part. It's the themes that there are not all humans are bad, not all devils are bad. There are good guys and bad guys everywhere.
What the heck can the Chicken Devil do? Like,
exactly.
What kind of contracts does he offer?
And he's just living life. He looks like he's just enjoying stuff.
He plays with black. What's his name? Fujimoto. Sorry, plays with black comedy so well.
Yes.
Like mixes in like humor with like. Am I supposed to laugh? Holy crap! Like this just happened. Like
he just draw. I sorry to skip to the end.
No, that's okay.
He draws like jumping on the black comedy. His visceral drawings are something I've never ever seen.
Yeah.
I know Berserk. I've seen a couple things from Berserk that look pretty brutal.
Yeah,
but
they
not
go
like
ham.
this. Not
in Shonen magazine.
Yeah,
not on
like
Shonen Jump.
Things that like where their faces are getting cut open and you realize, oh, we're all just a sack of meat waiting to be cut open.
Yeah, exactly.
And once our stomach gets cut open, everything just falls out.
Yeah.
But when she gets her face cut open and literally all of the sack of eyeballs just start, and it's like 4 panels, and
like
it
her head
slowly
is
is going by, and you're like, what the? And you're like,
Yeah.
I was reading it, and I was like, what the? I was like, ew.
She's
you know,
dead. Like,
I love it, but I'm still going.
it's all
"Eh."
shock. It's shock
Yeah,
and awe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do love me some gore, but I think that a lot of people think that gore and blood and just crazy things make a good story. I think that this actually is another thing that spawns from Game of Thrones is that this unnecessary, because there are some things in Game of Thrones completely unnecessary to the story, and you're like, why did I see that? And it wasn't in the books, and you're like, why did that happen? And I know why. It's because D&D put that in there for shock value.
Yeah.
To
Like the Red Wedding?
To go, I got you. No, not like the Red Wedding was built up.
No,
I'm
I know,
talking
yeah.
about like small things, like when Sansa gets
Yeah.
small like you're like, that's not in the books. Why did that have to happen? Why did I have to see that? And then of course it's one of the lowest rated episodes in the show, but they did it for
Really?
shock value. Yeah, for shock value to go, hey, like,
Yeah, you know
just
what I mean?
gotcha.
This is the real world. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's not
exactly.
done
But
tastefully.
But it's not done. It's done in a way that you're just like, well, that's just why,
And I see what you mean.
But
I don't-
everything in Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I don't think it's
has
like that.
No.
Yeah.
And this is my final point: is that nothing in Chainsaw Man is like that. The gore
It handles it well.
always justified, and I mean, it's the first volume. It's just immediate, like when he's chopped up into bits in the dumpster, you know what this is going to be.
Yeah, it's
off the front.
It's not like one of
you
those
know?
mangas like you might like it, but in chapter whatever you might no chapter 1. If you don't like it, it's gonna show you it like in chapter
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
Like you get all the vibes in chapter 1,
Exactly.
and so you know what I mean.
I actually gave my friend Rudy, who I'm in a show with right now, I gave him the first volume of Chainsaw Man,
What did he
and he
think?
read it, and he immediately went to go buy the second volume.
Oh,
He's
serious?
never
Yeah.
read manga.
I thought you were gonna say, and
Yeah.
he immediately
Yeah.
threw up in the garbage
Yeah.
can, and he puked his guts out.
No, he said, "Wow, that was a lot, but I love it," and he went to go buy the second volume.
I
And
like
he-
your funny words,
he is-
Magic Man.
he-
This ice cream truck. I'm getting scared, Ben. Holy God, that scared me. That was a jump scare. I was like, why'd you stop? And then I heard the music, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to. It's the same one.
It's the same one.
How many? There's no kids outside. What does it want?
I don't know.
Anywho, back
Anyway,
to Chainsaw.
move on.
Back to fiction and not the scary real world that we
Yeah.
live in.
So,
I just
Yeah.
love the frame layout and the panel style.
isn't that brilliant?
It's killer. It's so great.
It's very similar to.
You said that buildings look realistic. It looks
yes,
fun. It looks great.
I try to draw buildings, and sometimes I succeed and sometimes I don't, and sometimes I look at mangakas like this and I'm like hopefully
It's
I
unfair.
hope the way he did it was he took an actual building and maybe like drew from that or like traced it, because if he did that like just from his mind, it's over. That's never coming out
That
of
is
my
unfair.
brain. That's never coming out of my brain into my hands, Edgar.
The
It's never
standards are
gonna
too
happen.
high.
Exactly, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's great.
It's
Us-
his design
Yeah.
is obviously continued from. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Asa is her name. I don't know what her. I don't know if that's her first name or last name, but I just remember it being Asa. She's great. Fujimoto knows how to write female characters. Again, that shouldn't be much of a standard in writing in general, but it apparently is an anime manga. He writes them well.
I also think it's a problem in writing, like in general.
Yeah, I know.
For
but
male writers,
no, that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be a problem, but
Yeah,
it is,
but it is.
unfortunately.
It is
But he writes them, really well.
Yes.
And like, God, it's like I just love her design, and when she gets revived, I guess like the scars just like are in her face.
Oh, it
like,
looks
already.
great, dude. It looks great.
Also,
Yeah.
like the war devil as like an owl, which super creepy. Like I love the creepy vibes again, and it's just like, and it's just so cool. And there's a lot of already speculation and like theories that we'll be getting the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, because this is the war devil, and Makima mentioned that she wants to destroy the war, hunger, and death devils, since she's a control devil. For everyone who's not familiar, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are known as war, hunger, death, and conquest, or otherwise known as control, because conquest and control have the same kanji symbol. So we know what control is now. It's not Makima, but it's like that little girl. I forgot what her name is. That Denji's taking care of.
Well, because that devil always gets reincarnated.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those immortal devils.
Now we know what the war devil is. It's now in the form of Asa. Whether it's a hybrid or a fiend or a devil with the contract with the human, we don't exactly know.
We don't know.
Because it still looked like she, in her human body form, and that's what fiends usually do. But he said, if you want to live, your body will be mine. So it's like offering it like a contract between a human. So we don't know. Maybe it's a mixture of both, which is really interesting. That's another theory. We maybe we'll be getting the Hunger and the Death Devil soon, or in this part, which is super interesting. But it feels like this is the setup for that she's the villain, or going to be an antagonist, if not the main antagonist.
I don't know if she's going to be a villain. I do think that there is a void of female characters now that all of them are dead.
Don't get attached to any new character, because if y'all don't remember, I think like 5 out of all the new characters survived in the last part.
But I think it might be. I think her arc. I didn't get main antagonist.
I didn't get it either, but a lot of people said it, and I'm like, I can see that.
I think she's going to have an arc where it's
a rival arc.
She's going to. I think she's going to have an arc where she realizes not all devils are bad. Right? Did Chainsaw Man kill her family? Is that what she said? Is that why she hates?
No,
devils?
a devil killed her family.
A devil killed her family, and she's going after the Chainsaw Man
because everyone's treating him like a human.
hero.
Yeah, like a hero.
And I think that's going to be her arc, is figuring out that it's not not. I mean, she's a. Oh, she doesn't. She's not a demon. She has a contract with the devil
or a fiend. That's why everyone's. We don't know exactly. We'll get more information. Like we barely got anything, but it's great.
So we'll see. What I think she'll be a good guy, but
I think that too. But I feel like for the progression of the story, she'll be like an antagonistic force. Because obviously for these next few chapters, she's clearly going to go after Denji. Yeah, which I can't wait. And just the explosion, like behind, like everything about her is just oozes cool.
Yeah.
And there's like another theory going around that the War Devil allows anything to turn into a weapon, because like she took his like spinal cord, the teacher's, and it turned into a sword. So obviously that's like the one time it shows it, but that is a cool theory that the War Devil can make anything into a weapon.
I just love the way it rolls off the tongue, Mr. Tanaka's spinal cord sword. Heck yeah, dude. I love that.
It really is cool. There's already fan animations of it because people just love love it so much.
Of course,
really great. Yeah, and so I remember seeing someone on Reddit is like, when are we gonna get this new volume? Like, buddy, the first chapter just came out,
and not gonna get it for a while, dog.
And even that's just for the Japanese, and then we gotta wait even longer for the English release.
Yeah.
All of this is great.
The last volume, like, literally just came out. Yeah. And that was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, the Japanese. Yeah, when a year and a half ago when the manga ended, and then like 8 months since like the Japanese volume cover of that released.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild dog.
Yeah,
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, it's the first chapter, but this is gonna be great. Only unless something big, absolutely, it's crazy stuff is gonna be happening. But I feel like the next time we might mention it here and there, but like the next time we'll cover it is probably the end of this part. If it does the same thing, like follows like 90 or so chapters for this second part. Either way, I'm so glad we're gonna get weekly Chainsaw Man now. Yeah. This is the first time I get to experience it because I had to. All I did was hear about it, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll read it. Oh, great, it's already over. I'm like, I reached 97. Oh, it's not over, but it technically is. So that's great. We're in it again. We're with a new fan base. We're manga only is just super great, and we're gonna know everything while the anime watchers gotta wait for the first part of anime.
No kid.
So great. Yeah. So let's talk about Thor. So we got Dargonball after.
Lord of Thunder.
Lord of Thunder.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, we saw it last Thursday.
It was Thorable. No, I'm just kidding.
It was the movie of all time.
Yeah, it was a movie.
It was written and directed to its full extent, and the actors acted. It was truly the best.
Was it though? Because didn't they say that there was a 4-hour director's cut?
Yeah.
So was it directed and
there's a lot of things that are potential? There's a lot of things coming out about Thor: Love and Thunder.
There's a lot of things coming out.
about Marvel in general.
There's been a lot of things about Taika Waititi. I don't think Taika Waititi is the reason why it was. Well,
No.
let's
start with the movie.
Let's start with the movie before we get into.
So coming out of it,
think of it.
I was entertained by the movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it off the get go.
I still don't hate it.
But
you know.
immediately I knew that the humor wasn't blending well with like the serious or the non-humor tones. Unlike the first Thor Ragnarok, where everything just rolled off the tongue.
Yeah,
it just worked. Where everything was like hilarious and it just flowed.
Yeah.
Like
I also think
well.
that worked with. I think that worked with Mark Ruffalo as well. I think Mark Ruffalo just added so much to that movie. You know,
it's just I feel like the reason the humor worked in Ragnarok was that Thor had various characters to riff off, like Loki, Hulk, and Grandmaster, that all had great personalities, but also had different like morals and values that butted with Thor's so much to where it was like naturally funny. And Jane and Valkyrie and Korg don't really do that. Don't really do that for Thor, because they're kind of dull and tame characters, to say the least, and they don't challenge his ideals or vibes, so it doesn't create that natural humor. Because Jeff Goldblum and like Tom Hiddleston and I was gonna say Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, they're phenomenal actors, and they just work really well. And even Taika Waititi can't even match that. Because if you ask me, I feel like Korg 1 overstayed his welcome, and 2 feels like a one-trick pony now, and it kind of just doesn't work well for me. Because I'm like, really, dude? Like, you gotta. He like actually kills moments, so I'm like, they're not gonna do that.
I think it's fine if you have him in the movie, but I'm
not saying he didn't have to be in it.
I just don't think he had any reason to be there. You know, I also think like that's the same thing with Valkyrie. Like I don't like why were they
Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie looks like she never wants to be there. I don't know why she's in it.
Well, I loved her in Ragnarok, and
she was alright in Ragnarok. I just in this one. She literally like backs out when she gets hurt in the end. I'm like, what? You're not?
Yeah.
It's literally Asgardian kids. You're the king. You're supposed to protect them.
I just don't know why she was in this. I'm just so confused why she was in this movie.
But
I think it should have been. Well, I don't know. I don't think they should have ever gone to Earth. First of all,
I just think to go back on my point, I feel like the Guardians of the Galaxies would have been a far better role to be by Thor's side throughout most. If not the entire movie, most of it, because not only were they underutilized, but there was no point of having them there if you're not going to even continue to have them there.
No, definitely
because they just like, oh yeah, bye. I'm like, why? You just want to make money. You just want to sell tickets. That's clearly the reason why they were there.
But
obviously,
why are they? Why they like in all the trailers? They were a major part in that.
I know.
Like you said, this would be a relaxing holiday, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna get good quips from the Guardians, and let's say, to be honest. The best jokes in the movie might have been the little Guardian stuff that we got. Yeah. Like when that one kid, I forget his name, but when he comes back with like a new marriage and
Kraglin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is Kraglin. It's Kraglin.
No, Kraglin's the. Yeah, it's Kraglin.
It's Kraglin.
Yeah.
And Star-Lord was like, dude, seriously? Again? He was
can't
like, you
get
can't
married.
get married in
So,
every planet.
yeah.
And he was like, oh, sorry.
I just liked it when Thor's like, I'm giving you my ship and my crew because I'm just that nice. Like, all right, let's go. Like, it's like, and they just kind of like over it. Like,
yeah, it was great. And of course, I mean, it would have been so much funnier if they didn't show it in the trailer where he's like, just look into the eyes of the person you love. And he's like, hey.
That's getting memes. Like, that's like, that's like probably one of the
meme.
The funniest moments. But they could have worked because like they just vibe so well together, and it just creates like instant comedy because it just works.
But they just disappear from the movie, but they're like,
and they could have
they go, we're gonna solve this problem too, but then the problem doesn't
happen anymore.
Yeah,
we never even see it.
We don't even see their end of the problem.
Other than the first god that we see, yes, Gore the God Butcher has killed other gods, but we don't never ever see him kill another god other than the very first one, which. I was really disappointed we didn't get to see. For someone called the God Butcher, we didn't get to see him butcher any gods.
Exactly. That's absurd, and that's what I'm like.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy could have worked in the end, where Thor tries to recruit the gods to help him in his quest to stop Gore, but
Right.
no one helps, and apparently they still think it's a good idea to go and stop him, even though they have no help apparently,
Yeah.
because they admitted that they can't stop him without any other gods. And apparently none of the gods even care about this, not even Zeus,
Well,
which is really dumb.
And this is one of the major things with the film is that it's like, doesn't Gore kind of have a point? Like, if every god we've met in this movie so far, every god we meet that is not Thor is an incompetent douchebag. So you're like, yeah, and don't they say, oh my god, don't they say, like, doesn't Zeus say we had a competition for which god could sacrifice
the most people yeah.
to them, and whoever wins gets to be a part of the orgy or
yeah,
something?
or something like that.
And it's like, these guys are the worst. like Gore has a point. Why didn't
I know Zeus would be like this, but like based off the stuff that we've been getting from like Odin and the gods of like Asgard, I figure that in the MCU they would be kind of grounded, and like the Egyptian gods, like in that we saw in Moon Knight. Did we see Ra? We saw one Egyptian god, I think, in this film, but I don't think we saw.
Yeah, we saw one.
They mentioned Ra.
We see the Black Panther god as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, we saw him.
Yeah, but apparently.
And the dumpling god, my favorite.
Oh yes.
Yeah, where he's like Sugoi, Sugoi.
But yeah, but
so funny.
Not only do they all suck, but they don't care about their lives. So we're like, oh yeah, whatever, God Butcher. Yeah, we know he's killing gods, but who cares? Yeah, but the Guardians of the Galaxy could have filled that hole to like help Thor in the end, because
and bring it down to earth a little bit. You know, like I understand Jane Foster was supposed to be the human of this, but like here's the thing, like when you deal with too much like deities and stuff like that, in the first movie it was the fish out of water was Mark Ruffalo, right? It was Bruce Banner, where he's just going along with the punches. He's like, what's happening?
In Ragnarok.
Yeah, in Ragnarok. And he was like, what's going on? And it played so well, and like it was just so good. But the fact that you didn't have those people who are just a little bit more grounded to teach like the human lessons to Thor, because like that's what Thor needs. Thor has been super duper depressed, but like Star-Lord is a perfect contrast to Thor, because Star-Lord has, like, he lost his mom, he lost the woman that he loves,
he lost his dad.
He lost his
both
dad.
both actual
both
father
his
figures.
father figures.
Yeah,
he's a perfect and not antithesis, but he's a perfect parallel to Thor, and he's fine. And I think the way the message of the movie, if they stayed on that, you have to choose love always, otherwise we cease to be human and we become husks of our own selves, is such a good story, and they play on that. But Star-Lord not being there, it doesn't really help.
Not saying that you didn't have to have Jane in it, because she could have added to it
too.
But
I think
but
Natalie Portman was great. I enjoyed her.
The Guardians should have. Yeah, they should have. That's what should have happened. You're absolutely right. That sucks.
It just makes you think that maybe Taika Waititi was like, but I want Korg to be in it.
Yeah, Korg. Like
I want Korg and Tessa Thompson to be in it.
More Korg and less Gore.
And I think at the end of Endgame, I think the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige were like, let's put Thor and the Guardians together, because Ragnarok and the Guardians movies just mix so well.
Hey, you know what? Everyone loved the Guardians and Thor. Yeah, let's do that for like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, exactly.
And that's it. Oh, man.
Exactly. But I mean that the first 10 minutes of the movie I think were very excellent. I really liked even though it was absurd, but I really liked the like the battle and stuff like that.
I just I wish we got. Christian Bale did phenomenal.
Yes,
as Gore, but
as he most often does.
Yeah, but not he was not in it enough. Like really, no. I thought they really made him. I mean, they didn't make him out to be, but like we know who Christian Bale is, and we know what kind of actor he is. We thought that adding him to the mix and having the title The God Butcher, and we thought that would bring back like a dark, ground Thor. Obviously, we knew it was gonna be 80s and like whimsical and like but we thought he was gonna be like a direct like no fun, like we're gonna stop it, and it was gonna be like a literally.
And that's what they should have done. We haven't even talked about the first part of the film, right? The first part of the film is him. He's the end. He should have been. You know how Thanos was the main. Well, a lot of people think Thanos was the protagonist in Infinity War. He should have been the protagonist of this film.
Or he should have had that vibe because he starts it off.
He starts it off because I think that's what Taika Waititi should have done. Is at the beginning he showed us that Ragnarok energy with that god, and then Gore kills him, and Gore's like, and so that Taika went, just kidding. This film, it will be funny at times, but this is going to be a little bit more serious, which as it should have been.
Yeah,
and I told Edgar immediately after leaving, I think Gore is such an awesome villain. First of all, good name, great great goals as a character.
Well-written motivation.
He should have been a trilogy, in all honesty.
Yeah, he was great. I love his design. His eyes, when it got really dark,
Yes.
had a real Pennywise vibe, which is really cool.
Brilliant actor.
But even with all that greatness, the movie or the direction or writing, I don't know what it was, didn't make him that much of a threat because if he seemed easy to take down, even though they kept saying he was he can defeat gods.
Yeah.
But we never saw that, and it didn't feel like that.
Well, it might have been because the only atrocities we saw him do was steal kids. So it's not that intimidating.
Yeah, so
and he didn't even kill one of them. I know you can't kill kids, Disney. I understand, but you can kill gods. Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I would say that I did enjoy the movie for what it was, but the movie wasn't much.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I told Ben that Jojo Rabbit, which takes place in Nazi Germany, handles humor and seriousness way better, and this one isn't as serious, but with something like Gore or where we knew, even with just because it's not humorous doesn't mean it's serious. But you have to blend humor well, and it's just it didn't work well for this. And not only that, but there's a few plot holes, like Mjolnir repairing itself. Even though Thor, it would have saved Thor a lot of time in Infinity War when he needed Stormbreaker, which would have saved lives. And adding another Make-A-Wish MacGuffin, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. The gate portal, the wish. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah,
the Eternity.
It's called Eternity, which is a big, I think, thing in the Marvel universe, and I can't believe they added it.
Wouldn't Odin or Thanos or King the Conqueror use this? Or if Thor knew about it, why couldn't he use it to erase Gore from existence? Or
dude. I'm just like, what are you? Stop with this. You will be granted one wish.
Awesome power that was never discovered, kinda, until now.
Dude, are you serious? And the fact that Zeus is just saying it out loud, he's he'll never get to eternity. It makes it sound like he knew, everyone knew. So why isn't anybody just trying to get to it no matter what? So it's I just don't get it.
Just real quick, my last, because I want to say I want to get into a small subject that is kind of involved with the movie, but more about MCU and Marvel and Disney. But a small thing about the actual movie is that I thought Natalie Portman was fine as Jane.
I actually thought she was really good.
I just felt like the moments where it wasn't, where I was like, it's kind of awkward, is when they try to make her the actual fish out of water, when she's trying to be like Thor. It felt not when she was Thor, fighting and having moments with Thor was nice, but when she was trying to be oh, what should I be, the new, you know what I mean, she had those jokes what should my catchphrase be? I'm like, why are you acting like this? She's never acted like this. It feels so out of place, and it felt she's
cringe. She's very methodical. She in the first two Thor movies, she was very methodical. Also, I don't know if Taika Waititi remembers the first two Thor movies.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. And before we get into what happens off and what this means for the larger universe and my a little bit complaints about how disjointed the universe and it's starting to feel a little bit DC to me.
Yeah.
I think overall, this film pandered. It was the Marvel formula, There is a bad guy, and he's doing bad things, and the hero has to stop them, and they make quips and jokes along the way, which works most of the time with a compelling story, as long as you take as long as you make something creative, let's take Shang-Chi for an idea,
Yeah,
right?
some people,
You know?
some would say that's probably one of the best to come out of Phase
Yes.
4, other than Spider-Man.
I
No
agree.
Way
I
Home.
agree. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like it was a good balance between serious and the dad had a good character arc and
Such
you know,
a good character.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
such a
liked
good
him.
character. And the fight scenes were great and the martial arts made it unique.
Yeah.
You know, but this film, I feel like it was the MCU formula and that was it. And that's not good enough anymore. We don't we 75 projects like from this point onward.
Yeah.
It's not good anymore, you know?
Like
Like as much like as much as you
yeah.
there because there were problems in the first like television series. In my opinion, the most enjoyment I had from Phase 4 in the MCU was those first 3 series: WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then of course Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
For me, it was just
and
Shang-Chi.
of course.
For me, it was just Shang-Chi, Loki, and Spider-Man.
yeah, I loved the other two, even though they have their problems. I still enjoyed it, but it's like, and I personally like Doctor Strange too, but I see the complaints with it. But yeah, go ahead.
Someone pointed out that isn't it funny that Loki fell in love with the Loki and Thor fell in love with the Thor.
Thor. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
that
so-
makes sense. That makes
So
sense. Yeah.
narcissistic.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like so going to like the backstage stuff, like
Do you
there's
know-
been a lot of Taika Waititi interviews, and I'm like, stop giving this guy the microphone. He is messing.
I never
something
thought
up.
he would be doing this, but real
Yeah.
quick before I get to that,
Go ahead, bud.
did you know that the MCU runtimes by phase, Phase 4 is now 49.5 hours, 6 films and 7 shows, more than the previous phases combined.
Yeah, because of the shows.
That is so much content. And,
Yeah.
and it is kind of worrying
kind of
or
absurd.
kind of sad that we've had impactful moments, but as for an MCU story, it hasn't had that impactful thing like Infinity War, Civil War, the other event, even Avengers: Age of Ultron. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it just hasn't felt like that. But yeah, Taika Waititi just slipping up. Like I don't know if you saw, but he was like they were doing that. Him and Tessa Thompson were doing that analysis scene where they like write and draw stuff on the scenes that he
And
directed.
they were making fun of the CGI. Yeah.
Oh,
even
buddy,
though the
why would you-
industry is extremely underpaid and overworked
Yeah.
and
But you can tell all respect to the artists and the employees in this film and other Disney projects.
we don't hate Taika Waititi. By the way, we think genuinely his films and movies, like I've seen a lot of his films and movies. This is the only one I have like, and I don't hate this film.
I just don't
This is
understand
the
why
one
it would
that
happen.
I haven't like fervently liked. Like I love Jojo Rabbit. The finale of The Mandalorian season 1, brilliant episode. Thor Ragnarok was great. I think he's great in almost everything.
Yeah.
But like he is doing like somebody is giving him too much freedom, and I think he needs to be reined in a little bit.
But it's also feeling like the opposite. But we'll get to that real quick. I want to mention about the CGI when we were talking about it.
Yes. Go
This,
ahead.
like as I was saying, all respect to the artists and the employees who work in the CGI, VFX. But it had a lot of bad moments in it, and it was pretty laughable in points. Everyone's talking about the floating head. Like I was like, oh my god!
Did you see when the frames dropped? I don't know. They
It's
might
when-
have
I know
fixed it.
I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. It's when they land, or at least the most noticeable one for me.
It
is
might
when
have
they-
been just our theater. I don't know.
No,
but-
it was definitely it wasn't the theater because I saw it. It's when they land in the what's the god city
in Omnipotent City or something.
Yeah, it's
Omnipotent
when
City
they
or something.
land in the ship and you see it from a bird's eye view, and it's like
And
like
it's
the frame,
yeah,
like it
and
just
it's
like
so
drop.
weird because it's like normally you remember in Loki where him and Owen Wilson's character, they walked out to the window and they got a good look at like the whole town where it was like stationed and stuff, and it was like this big clockwork kind of town, and we got a still image of it, and you were like, oh my god, this is a television show, and you're like, this is crazy. But this, like, we never get a good look at it, and anytime it looks blurry, or it looks exactly, and this is what I feared, right? It looks like it's filmed on the volume. And I'm like, Disney, stop overusing the volume, because now you're going to make people be like, okay, the volume's not good, let's go back to green screens.
Yeah.
And then the actors are going to hate themselves again, because it's like the volume works, but not on everything. Sometimes you have to go to the locations,
There was a recent article about a VFX worker who left Disney after working on an MCU show. I don't know which one, but I mean,
Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
Miss Marvel.
and because it's not now coming clear. Like, apparently it's been happening even before Phase 4, but it's just like coming with all these like projects now, so much to work on.
Yeah.
And with these shows like pumping out like candy, or
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the right phrase, but it's now coming clear that not even Disney and Marvel are safe from mistreating their workers, considering how much money they have. When they would just hire more people or just treat them fairly
They spend
for
it
one
all
thing.
on the actors,
But
my
you should.
friend.
Why
They
can't
spend it all on the actors?
Oh man, that's not the way to do it.
Speaking of, just real quick, Miss Marvel, episode 1 was really good. It's boring. It's so. Have you watched past it?
No,
Dude, it's so boring.
but I heard that while they're spending, although while it's great that they're focusing on the culture, but they're having way too many characters that are relevant and focusing on the culture towards hindering the plot.
Yes,
it's
annoying.
Yeah,
they just had a wedding, and I was like, "How is this furthering the story?" Like,
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I was like, "It's okay to have a wedding at the end when everything is like solved and stuff like that," but it's just like,
for one thing, when anything popular and good happens, I always hear about it, even when things I don't like. Like, I mean, I'm reading One Piece, and I don't hate Dragon Ball, but I'm not into One Piece, and I don't like Dragon Ball, but I hear about things. Like, I always hear about them because I'm just like, because it's just that big or good, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear a single thing coming out of Miss Marvel, unless it's coattail writers, like in the comment section of like Marvel official posts. No one's talking about it.
It does nothing for the universe. It does nothing. It literally, like, and not only that, they changed her powers into something that is much more. It's incredibly.
Apparently, they made her not an inhuman, but an official mutant now.
Yeah, well, she just has like this glowy power, which I'm just like, I don't. Well, she used to like make her hands big. She was like that girl in My Hero, where she like with the big fists, and
I don't know.
that was always cool.
And apparently, it lost a lot of its charm and editing style that it had in, in
There's
episode 1.
I watched episode 4 recently. There's none of it. There is none of it. It's all gone. Like, it's just like, dude, like, you can't introduce.
You sold the show like this. Why don't
this.
you keep it all the way through?
And I bet you 5, Edgar. I bet you 5, because right now, Miss Marvel is the highest rated show,
which is ridiculous, by the way.
on all of MCU on Rotten Tomatoes, which is, first of all, absolutely ridiculous. And I bet you $5 billion it's going to stay that way, or it's going to get higher, because the finale is going to have probably that same exact, design and style. So the people who tuned in for the beginning and tuned in for the end are like, wow, it was like this all the way through. No.
But here's what's funny.
So boring.
I don't hear anything happening that's coming out of the finale, except for one thing that everyone's talking about. They heard the X-Men theme, 97 theme. And that's all. And that's it. That's all they're talking about. Is that one mention because they make her a mutant.
Yeah, but
I don't know anything about.
It sucks because the first episode was really good. Like, the actress was really good. She's lost her luster a lot. She's never acted before, and it shows. But her love interest, he was up for Peter Parker. Totally see it. He's a great dude. Her family, hilarious.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's just now you get to this point where you're just like, what was your premise for this series? It's nothing.
I see people who praise it like, oh, this is like a 10 out of 10. They're like, oh, this is a great series. And you can enjoy what you want and and it's subjective,
it's
but
fine.
But it's just, I don't know. I feel like people are setting
it's a 10 out of 10, whatever.
I just feel like people are setting the bar like too low and are
too high. I just don't know.
And the critics who it felt like the review bombed it a 10 out of 10 is because they want to stay true to the message, as the critical drinker likes to say. I love it when he says that. But yeah, it feels like Disney and Marvel is doing quantity over quality now, and it's really showing. And people are starting to get tired of this. People are going as far as to calling it the downfall of Marvel, which as over exaggerated as it sounds, it's starting to feel that way. Not only because in quality or how much it feels like every Disney product or every Marvel MCU product is starting to always feel divisive now with everything.
Yeah.
Yes, so many people loved Multiverse of Madness, and yes, so many people love this Thor movie and these previous shows that
I
Marvel's
liked
put.
Hawkeye too. I do
Yeah.
have to say, I did like Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, yeah,
Hawkeye
it's
was
kind of
very
on the
good.
on the lukewarm safe side, but with these other ones,
I would say, yeah,
there's such a divisive side to where like one side loves it or one side absolutely hates it so
Yeah.
much. Even if you like it, you have to be blind to not see that. Where almost everything feels like it's just crazy that MCU is doing this.
I mean, as good as Spider-Man No Way Home was, like the writing of Doctor Strange still had like major issues with it, and you have to be blind not to see it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think everything is just so jumbled right now.
And-
Because wasn't Spider-Man No Way Home supposed to come out after Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
And that's why Doctor Strange was acting weird in that movie, because he had the third eyeball and he read from the Darkhold,
Yeah.
which would have made a lot more sense. So it makes me feel like that the movies are jumbled, and now Kevin Feige's like, oh my God, I gotta put all this stuff in, and
See, and that's what makes me realize that, and that's what makes me kind of ponder what is really happening. Is
Yeah.
it because you're giving the directors too much control to the point to where they don't complete the vision of the MCU timeline and they don't care about the inconsistencies,
Yeah.
or it matches like certain traits that the characters have portrayed before, like with Raimi, his directing style was phenomenal, but
Brilliant.
and he didn't write it, but like whoever the writers were didn't feel like Wanda to me. At least it feels like. And Doctor Strange just you know what I mean? You've already said it. And now with Thor, just now Marvel treating him like a joke. Not only with I'm sorry, I'm like kind of rambling.
no, you're good.
But it's like one side is directors have too much control, but also feels like the execs or the higher ups or Disney is interfering too much after the fact, or even before with the writing. Like it was with the writing with Doctor Strange, and it's with like editing apparently in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Because as I told you before, Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth, when they were watching the movie, when it said Thor will return, they were completely surprised.
Yeah.
So technically, one can say that this was supposed to be Thor's like last story.
Yeah.
If you don't make a movie with the intent or knowing that he's going to keep going, why would you not tell them that? Like they would write something different, or they would do. Why it's Disney putting people too much in the dark for all the wrong reasons, and it's really frustrating.
I also want to preface just real quick that there are a lot of people out there like I mean, we're extremely small, so it's not gonna matter. I'll call them out. I think it's a channel called Nerdotic or Nerdotic or something
I
like
don't know
that.
who it is.
And he uses this stuff and uses his thumbnails like, oh, the reason why it was a failure was because woman Thor doesn't work, or like he says
This
stuff.
Marvel,
He
'cause
says
there's a
stuff.
Muslim
He
or
says
something.
stuff that it's like too woke and stuff, and that's the reason why it's failing.
Yeah.
No, dude, shut the hell up. Like stop talking. That's not the reason. You don't have any storytelling premise ever. Like, go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. Minorities played a major role in that, and it was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with this.
No.
So shut your trap.
Exactly.
But that's just what I also, just before we head on to Dragon Ball, Taika Waititi, his interviews are scaring me, Edgar. Like, I'm just like, what? Why? Did you see the interview about him asking Natalie Portman to be in a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, because he. See, that's what I mean. It's like it's like you hand these things to direct. Obviously, Star Wars and Marvel is different,
Right.
but it's stuff like that. And with Raimi only seeing 3 MCU movies and having to recap everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a lot to ask him to watch all those movies, but why are you gonna hand something to a director who doesn't even know what's going on in this
Yeah, dude, I don't
massive
know.
universe that's apparently supposed to be all connected, and handing it to a director that doesn't know anything
Yeah.
about it?
No, yeah.
If you're gonna
definitely.
if you're gonna hand me the role to direct One Piece, I'm gonna read that in one day.
Yeah.
I have to know. How can you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
how can
yeah.
this? How do you allow stuff to happen? But yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm not looking forward to anything Marvel nowadays. There's nothing I can think.
I don't have any. I'm interested.
This is like the last thing.
I'm interested to see what Black Panther does. especially because it's on my birthday. So hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
Because that we'll probably go see that then. But I mean, what She-Hulk, and then Iron Wars, and then what movie after the Marvels?
Is it?
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That's the
okay.
only one?
That's exciting.
But that's like in the future. But I meant like this year is like there's like nothing.
Oh, in the
else.
next 2 years, nothing. There's there's literally nothing.
Yeah.
I am
And
excited to see Don Cheadle lead in Iron Wars.
You mean
but
Ironheart?
I think it's Iron Wars first.
Really?
I think it's Iron Wars and then Ironheart.
You mean War Machine?
Is that what it's called?
I
think it's called Iron Wars.
I thought the only Iron Man show was going to be Ironheart.
I thought it was Iron Wars and then Ironheart, but I don't know.
We could both do. I don't know.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, but I think that I'm interested in that. But I mean, other than that, I'm just like
it feels
I
like
don't know.
It feels like I said, quality over quantity. Now apparently Disney's mistreating workers and like trying to shove things out. Does that sound familiar, Mappa? Where you should take a step back and focus on what you can and not what you should.
Yeah, exactly. There's and you're right. There's too much content going out on Disney Plus right now. Make it slower. Slow it down so that it's a big event that happens.
Focus. Kevin Feige, I know you went on a retreat to talk about this phase and the next one. Yeah. Hopefully you slapped everyone across the face and said, we got to fix this.
Yeah. Star Wars 2. Like, to be honest, if Kevin Feige, like, fixes it, like, in the next couple of movies, like, we'll probably look more fondly back on these movies. I think it'll be fine. But, because time can heal things.
It's just the fact that we've gotten so much. Like, as I said, this is the most hours of content combined since with the other three, and we still don't have a clue of where it's going or what's going to happen.
Because Age of Ultron wasn't that fantastic, but people still watch the movie for the scenes that like when Captain America like moves the hammer a little bit, you know, or
it teased Infinity War.
It teases stuff like that, So you watch it for those moments, and then it's a connector broader, so people have fonder memories of that movie,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just a little bit disheartening that we just don't have anything to look forward to.
It's weird to say that other than Shang-Chi and No Way Home, there's nothing. No, just in shows in general, no superhero shows have topped Invincible and The Boys for me in the past 2 years.
No,
because those are the two best superhero shows, comic book shows to come out.
I mean, My Hero Academia, but
but one could argue season 5 is
Yeah, so season 5 was season 5, but it's still like I still think that some of the high points of that season was still better than some of the Marvel stuff that had come out recently.
No, I don't mean because Invincible and The Boys are like Amazon. It was like something else.
Yeah.
Even man, everyone considers like Amazon to be more evil than Disney, and they managed to pump out 2 great shows, like fantastic, that everyone considers. The finale for The Boys is amazing. Go check those out.
Yeah.
But I feel it sucks about Thor.
It also makes me worried about Star Wars. I'm like, God, like we don't need a new Star Wars show
Squadron,
every
Fighter,
2
like,
months. We don't need a new Star Wars show every 2 to 3 months, especially if it's mediocre, right? Like Kenobi was carried on the back of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen.
Now that Hayden Christensen might not be in it.
Now that they're not gonna be a part of these shows, it makes me severely worried, especially for Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just slow down. We don't need all this content. Please stop
the brakes.
Yeah.
And now.
Welcome everybody to our review of Battle of Gods, Dragon Ball Z, the first of the Dragon Ball Super version.
Yeah. I had. Yeah. Ben was like, "We're gonna watch this."
I was like, "We're gonna watch this,"
and I was like, "Oh, I have to." And it's like,
that
was my gun noise. That wasn't that good. You're gonna watch it
because I don't want to watch Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and you're like. And I'm like, dude, like, but I do want to do this just to build up to the hype of Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
I'm pretty sure if I love something as much as Dragon Ball, I would force Ben to watch it.
Yeah, of course. I do want to watch something like Sword Art Online.
I wouldn't make you watch that. No, you don't have to watch that.
Oh, okay.
No, but if you want to watch that on your own, you can go on ahead and it'll be cool. But I love that series to death, but I'm not gonna make you watch it.
Okay, great. I will eventually. But maybe it's on the lower.
maybe with
yeah.
reading Soul Eater, but you're reading Soul Eater, not watching it. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm reading Soul Eater. Yeah.
yeah, but this is so kind of kind of nostalgic for me because
Really?
because the last thing I've seen of anything Dragon Ball content was Dragon Ball Z Kai, like
Really?
and like way back when they were airing on the I was gonna say Nintendo and Nickelodeon, no Nicktoons, right?
It was Nickelodeon, Nicktoons, whichever.
I don't know which one it was.
It doesn't matter.
It was one of them, but oh man, it was so that like that opening for Dragon Ball Z Kai with like this. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, God tier, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just great. And it was just kind of cool because obviously I don't know anything about these characters other than Goku has a son and he defeated Frieza and Krillin died, I think, in that show.
Yeah.
And then he came back and then there was androids, but I never went to that arc.
I would love, Edgar, I think you would love the manga of this. I think you shouldn't, if you were to read through the Dragon Ball anthology, you shouldn't read it. I mean, you shouldn't watch it, you should read it. Because I think you would like, Akira Toriyama is goated at fight scenes, at angles, at like just the way that he makes like the humans stand for stances and stuff. It is this paneling. He has the best paneling of any mangaka ever. It is amazing. So you should definitely check that out, and you should finish One Piece. But maybe after that, that's what you pick up. Whenever I pick up Hunter x Hunter or something like that.
I'll probably pick up Naruto and then because I gotta tackle the big three. Because but Dragon Ball, is on. One could argue is probably the most known, other than Pikachu, is probably the most known anime character ever. I mean, he has a freaking. He has a balloon in the Thanksgiving parade, which is cool.
Goku does too.
Yeah, Goku.
Yeah.
No, I mentioned Goku. That's what I meant.
I thought you were talking about Naruto. Sorry.
No. I was talking about.
Goku is. He's definitely up there. But I think
people were arguing on Twitter which one was more known: Naruto's Rasengan or Goku's Kamehameha.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that Goku's Kamehameha is the most recognized. Even non-anime watchers know what that is.
My dad can tell you what the Kamehameha is.
But but did it spur like an argument on Twitter as it usually does? But it was such a dumb one.
Diehard Naruto fans are gonna be like, no, it's the But
even Naruto fans were like, Rasengan, what is that? Like, I know what a Kamehameha is. Like,
exactly.
No, but this is it was just really cool. Ben told me that this was the first anything of content other than Dragon Ball GT and like one special or something, anime content that we got since the 90s, which is really I thought y'all were just getting Dragon Ball because obviously Dragon Ball Z Kai was like airing, but like that's just like a rerun but cut up and like touched up, but that wasn't new content. It was just like Dragon Ball Z retold in a cutter smaller version.
Yes, exactly. So
I thought y'all were getting content or something, but I'm like, it is crazy that y'all didn't get anything new since the 90s.
Well, of course, we got things like Dragon Ball Z Kai. But so the last thing we got, which was canon, was the Dragon Ball Z manga ended in 1995. And at that point, it was just called Dragon Ball. It was continuous. But the Dragon Ball Z anime ended in 1996 because it ran concurrently, thus why it had so much filler, thus why they would power up for 50 minutes.
An episode,
and then it would end and be like, will Goku finish up powering next time? Find out on Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. But the last new content we got by Toei Animation was Dragon Ball GT in 1997. We didn't get any new movies because the movies ran concurrently with Dragon Ball, right? There was a Dragon Ball GT movie, awful, god awful. Just one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was worse than GT, which is saying something.
Wow.
And GT for me is a 3 out of 10. Very irredeemable. So we didn't get anything for a very long time. However, Edgar, as we stated in past podcasts, Akira Toriyama watched GT and he was like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't very good. And then Dragon Ball Evolution came out and he was very excited. And he watched it like many of us in the movie theater. And he was like, oh, God. Oh, God. And he was like, is
what?
this
It's just an ordinary.
Oh, my goodness. Hollywood. But yeah, so he was like, what is this? You know, and he got so afraid that this was going to be his legacy that he came back. So we got a new movie, I think it was in 2011, that was called Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return. And it was just a nice little, what's it called, an OVA. It was a nice little OVA that we got stuff like that.
All right.
We also got, of course, while this stuff was going on, while this big hiatus was going on, we were always getting new video games that would just retell the story.
So y'all weren't left empty-handed.
No. The Dragon Ball Z fandom continued, which of course things like Dragon Ball Z Kai that came out in 2008. We got things such as new video games, new channels dedicated to Dragon Ball Z lore and Dragon Ball Z episodes and analysis. Things like Totally Not Mark, things like Masako X, things like Vegeta X.
The parody, the abridged.
Yes, and one of the main reasons why Dragon Ball Z continued in the fandom was because of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which started in 2007, I think. Yeah. And that really, the memes in that are used today, continuing in Dragon Ball. And it was as much as as badly as Funimation and Toei Animation treated them, they should be kissing their shoes and groveling on the ground they walked on for continuing the hype of the series, because it is mainly up to them why the hype continued.
Wow.
Because they are,
I only knew them through the Attack on Titan abridged. They were the same guys.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were. What's their name?
Team 4-Star?
Yeah, that's them. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
They only did like the first season, and God, that one was hilarious.
Was it? Oh, great.
Oh, so
great.
funny. And I can only imagine if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you found the Dragon Ball abridged was like absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, in the early internet days, the abridged series were so popular. There was a Naruto abridged, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh abridged,
Sword Art Online abridged.
And so Kaiser Neko and Takahata 101, and I forget the other one's name, Lanny Pator, they came together and they created they got like the people who made the Naruto abridged and the Yu-Gi-Oh abridged, and they took them and they put it together to make Dragon Ball Z abridged, and it was just this big collaboration.
We should do our own. We should.
We should
do like
if we want copyright, to be honest,
an equivalent of a Ghost Stories dub. Just find the most
Exactly.
obscure anime and ask the company, this show sucks, right? Can we have it? Like,
that would actually be a good idea. I would be down for that.
Where we just dub
if we could find one and just be like, hey, can we do it? And
like,
they're
how
whatever.
You know how you're saying Chris Sabat voices like all the characters technically.
Yeah,
It'd be like us, like all the characters would be like us too, and like that'd be it.
Dude, oh my god, that'd be so much fun. Yeah, we should do that.
That'd be funny.
Even
Even if we can't do something like that, like a 5-minute clip of like a known anime would be fun to do.
So Dragon Ball Z Abridged sadly ended at the Cell Saga because of copyright stuff, and some of them wanted to further their own careers and work with Funimation, but they were very distant between them because Funimation is very close to Toei Animation, and Toei Animation is like, no.
If they kept going, they would have done also another Attack on Titan abridged, which I loved, and I was like, why isn't there more? Everyone clearly loves this. Wouldn't you make more? No. And then I found out, I was like, oh man, Toei Animation.
And Akira Toriyama actually likes him. He says, yeah, sure, why not? Which sucks, but it's like,
it's surprising that y'all didn't get any for that, and you didn't get any Akira Toriyama content.
Yeah.
So
just real quick, in the Boo Saga, there is a parody that is shown, because Mr. Satan, right? He shows up and he gets his, he gets rocked by Cell.
The Afro guy, right?
Yeah, he's the Afro guy who he's the world thinks he's the strongest, right? And so Gohan
did nothing in the movie.
So Gohan beats Cell in the Cell games, right? But then Mr. Satan says he beat Cell. So the world treats him as the world hero, right? And so they go to this tournament and Mr. Satan is a hero there.
So like King in One Punch Man?
Yeah. And so they show a parody of how things went on. And when Funimation and Team 4-Star had a good relationship. They got the dub actors for they got the actors from Team 4-Star to come in and voice that parody. Sadly, Toei Animation made them cut it. So they forcibly pushed it out.
Toei
But
Animation taking the L's as usual.
But it
Man,
is
y'all
on
suck.
YouTube and it has like 1 million views and it's great. So yeah, screw you, Toei Animation.
How can you?
Screw you.
Man, it's such a back and forth. No, maybe you know what? Maybe no wonder people pirate Dragon Ball content so much because they just like want to stick it to the big.
We
man.
don't.
No, no, clearly not us. I mean, I'm not even a Dragon Ball fan, but
we don't.
Wink, wink, winkly, wink, wink.
Yeah, no,
but it makes sense because wow, clearly they love it so much. Why can't you just let them have fun?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Dragon Ball Z, the Battle of Gods, came in 2013, and the hype around this was immeasurable. There were toys being sent out everywhere. Everyone was like, why is Goku's hair red now? What's going on? Who are these new characters?
This was the first movie I saw, other than Spirited Away, but I knew of that a series had. I'm like, Dragon Ball's a show. It has a movie, like in theaters, and people are going to watch it? And I'm like, what? I was like a kid, and I was like, what the heck is going on? But I knew it was, I saw trailers of it in like theaters they were showing like right before the movie started. I'm like, that's crazy. And I thought it came out like sooner, but I just forgot how long ago it was because, obviously I didn't pay attention to it. But yeah, that is huge. A huge
Edgar,
comeback.
Out of the point, there were 20 theatrical films. This was the first ever canon. This was the first ever canon film.
Yeah, that is huge. Can you imagine like all the what are the other movies even about? Like,
well, they're like side stories, and like it's like if somebody paused the series at a specific episode and they had like a little side adventure. That's what it's about. And some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. I should preface though, Akira Toriyama did state 2 of them as unofficial canon, but he writes it in the series as if it's canon. He didn't draw it.
So like
the history of Trunks is canon. You know,
like an anime canon.
Yeah. Do you know History of Trunks, Edgar? It's the backstory on how Trunks' history was awful.
I just know that he came from like an apocalypse of something, and he came from the future or something like that.
Yeah, and episode of Bardock, which eventually at this time was canon, but eventually was uncanonized in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Yeah. Edgar, as a not necessarily a huge fan of Dragon Ball, what'd you think of this film?
It's cool.
Good.
You mentioning it that I'm like, you're like, Edgar, this is the first transformation we got since the 90s. And I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, this must have been a huge. People must have been like, not livid, jumping out of their seats.
Yeah.
Like, I could imagine that people were like tossed up the theater because of that.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy, and a huge moment. I just could feel like all the Dragon Ball fans like must have united and must have felt great, which is really cool. Like I said, it was real nostalgic in a sense since I did watch a few episodes or a good arc or two. As a kid back then when I knew nothing of the series. Yeah. But it was really weird seeing like all these characters together, knowing some of them were villains. I'm surprised like Frieza wasn't hanging out with them. But seeing Piccolo there, obviously he teams up with Goku like kind of relatively early on, at least in Dragon Ball Z Kai.
In Dragon Ball Z, he was a villain in Dragon Ball.
And Vegeta, Vegeta's there. Obviously, I know he's now pals with Goku, whatever. Yeah. And they have families, and I'm like, wait, who's the son and who they just look like all like small Gokus. I like Piccolo's green Goku and Vegeta's like a different hair Goku, and I was like, which one's Gohan and like Goten or Goten?
Goten?
Like Trunks? What is that? We're shorts. I'm like, I was all confused, but it was kind of cool, like to see all the characters. These new characters that show up. What's the blue guy's name?
Whis
and
Beerus.
Yeah,
Beerus and Whis. These are the first new Dragon Ball characters. Once again, since the 90s. There was a new character in Yonso Goku Returns, and he was talked about in this film where she's like, Vegeta, don't you have a brother? And he was...
oh, really?
Yeah, Tarbell was in that just small OVA. But in terms of new characters that actually matter, these are the first 2 new major players. And Edgar, what'd you think about them? They have really good Dragon Ball energy, don't they?
Yeah.
And enough silliness.
Yeah,
and,
we saw the
you know,
dub. So
Yes.
Ian Sinclair hearing
Brilliant.
him was fun. He was a bit more tame in this one because he's usually crazy with his characters, but he was
Well,
great.
he's tame with Tsukasa too, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely,
yeah.
definitely. But he's using them for like Love is War,
Of course.
and I forget. Oh, a bunch of other stuff. But he was great.
He plays the forearm guy in My Hero as well.
I thought that's what you were talking about. Who did you mention? Who did you say before?
Who?
Who did Ian Sinclair's character? The first one you mentioned.
Oh, Whis.
No, the other one after that.
Which one?
You said
Oh,
Tanaka.
Tsukasa.
Oh yeah.
Tsukasa, yeah.
For Dr. Stone. I thought that's who you were talking about.
No.
Oh yeah, Shoji and My Hero too with the forum guy.
Shoji.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was really cool hearing him and the voice of
Beerus.
Beerus.
Yeah,
was
Jason
great.
Douglas.
Great. Yeah.
He's
Great
an
voice
actor
actor.
famously known on Walking Dead, and you know he voices a lot of characters in anime, but they're lesser known. Like he voices the also in Dr. Stone vein.
Chief
he
Village.
voices the chief of the village.
Yeah.
You know, he's brilliant. Like when the line where he says, "I just want to hear that you say you give up." Like I was like, "Damn, he is good." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, he's so good."
Yeah.
You know.
And this is like obviously Funimation technically, still lives on within Crunchyroll
Yes.
because the dub actors, still work for Crunchyroll and they're still voicing all the stuff.
Yeah.
But now, as a veteran, especially even with sub voice actors, I can pick up like instantly who that is.
Yeah.
I know exactly who that is. I love telling people, "Oh, that's him." And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
And
Oh,
they're
it's
like,
him.
and
I'm
they're like, I don't care.
like, you should. I'm gonna make you care. I just
me whenever I watch Lord of the Rings with my girlfriend, I was like, "Did you know he broke his toe on that scene?"
it's like we can't help ourselves. It's like,
Yeah,
but with
exactly.
every anime, especially with the dubs, I'm like, that's him. Like, that's
Yeah.
her. And me and Ben were like, hey, you were like, hey, that's Colin Clickenbeard. And I'm like, hey, that's Chris Sabat.
That's Chris Sabat
again for the 20th time.
Because so if you guys don't know, one of the first Funimation dubs was the Dragon Ball Z, the original Dragon Ball Z, and then after they did Dragon Ball Z, they did the OG Dragon Ball dub. And at that time, anime wasn't as bustling as it is now. Everyone wants to do anime dubbing. Everyone wants to do it now, which is why it's so hard to get in. I would know. But back then, they didn't necessarily have that many. And they just reused the same voice actors. If you watch the original Dragon Ball dub, which I implore you, just read the manga.
Yeah.
And then see clips online. It's much better that way. But he voices like every other character. Like
You're like with the blue guy. What's his name? The glasses guy.
oh, Pilaf.
Yeah, he's like that's Sean Schemmel. I'm like,
Oh
really?
no. That sorry, not Pilaf. King Kai. Yeah.
King Kai. Yeah, I was like, that's Sean Schemmel. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm
He
like,
was just having a conversation with himself.
I'm like, man, it's like Seth MacFarlane and every other character in Family Guy. And like,
Exactly.
I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we were to like to do something,
Yeah.
it'd just be us two.
Yeah.
But which is great, and I had fun with that. Like trying to point out the characters, and they did all a phenomenal job.
because to be honest, like all the actors who are voicing these characters on Dragon Ball Z are legendary. They have become Eric Vale, Sean Schemmel, Chris Sabat, Colin Clickenbeard, Monica Rial. All of these voice actors have just become, and they have expanded into other animes such as One Piece, Fire Force, all of it. Literally all of
Yeah.
it,
They're like the heads of Funimation Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
now.
they're the
dub.
faces of the company.
Yeah.
They're so famous that they literally get called in. Like I just met a couple days ago at a theatrical event. I met Mike McFarland.
You told me.
Who voices Master Roshi. He was in this.
That's
He was
cool.
in this too.
Yeah.
And I met him, and every time I look at his Instagram, he's always like, "Oh, can't wait to go to Australia next week. Oh, see you guys in England in 3 weeks. Oh, see you guys in California in 4 weeks." And I'm like, he just gets called in for con after con after con.
That's cool.
So these guys are uber famous. But yeah, and it's also these actors, they're really good. They have a really good hold of these characters because they voiced them in Dragon Ball Z in the early 90s, and then they voiced him in Dragon Ball in the early 2000s. Then they voiced Dragon Ball Z Kai, and now they're back for new content. So the
must have been
voice
great for
actors
them,
are really good at
and
this
experienced.
point. Yeah, extremely experienced. So and it's really good. I applaud Funimation for staying with these voice actors and continuing with them because they are brilliant.
Yeah, hopefully because there is no anime for Super, right?
There is an anime for Super.
There is?
There is, but it stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
whether or not it
like we said
continues.
before, on our second recent in one of our podcast episodes, I believe it was episode 16, on the Manga Monday show, we talked about how there are rumors for more chapters, or I can't remember what it was.
It was more the creation of the series is starting.
Yeah, more new chapters, I believe.
No. The manga is still being written monthly, right?
Oh, so
they're,
anime.
They're working on the anime, and then the new
yeah.
movies are going to come out every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I meant. New episodes, so
yes,
it'll be great for them to come back again.
Yes, Moro Saga, baby, make it happen, please.
Yeah, but I just saw in this movie, like you see like them not auctioning off, but having the Dragon Balls as a bingo prize. Even someone like me, I'm like, wow, they just kind of
literally mean nothing. Now,
yeah, I'm like,
it's the name of the series, and they mean nothing.
And you see the dragon, Shenron.
Yeah.
I'm like, he gets nervous. I'm like, wow, I thought he was God or something like that, but apparently he gets intimidated by other characters, which is like hilarious.
He's not.
And none of these other characters can like basically do anything other than Vegeta kind of standing off to the side. Like, wow, like not even Piccolo. I'm like, wow, bro, sad. But it was really cool.
Akira Toriyama is not the best at keeping his characters relevant.
They literally say, quickly, let's catch up to them so we can spectate.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. And it makes me, it's why I'm so excited for this next film, because if you don't know, the leads are Gohan and Piccolo. So I'm like, give them a power-up and let them be relevant again, please, because Piccolo's my favorite character. Like, anytime Piccolo does or says something cool, I always get goosebumps. I'm very happy with them. But, so, Edgar, what did you think about, like, let's say, what did you think about, let's talk about the visuals, right? There was some CGI stuff going on in here. What did you think about that?
Yeah, a lot. It didn't really bother me. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me too much, and it is an older anime. But I was like thinking like how people take CGI back then. They would have been. I was saying like, man, people like I guess kind of didn't care, but nowadays they would really like throw a fit if a lot of CGI was in the movie. But then again, not really, because Superhero has almost all CGI. Not all, but they're blending a lot with it, and it's apparent that they're using it. But then again, no one kind of seems to care that it's using CGI because of how, Dragon Ball fans usually are. And I was mentioning to Ben how kind of unfair standards people give Dragon Ball, because if that was like in My Hero in the movie, regardless of how good the animation was or if it had a good story or not, but they would throw a fit, and people would get pretty mad. And I'm like, I guess people just set not standards really, but it just certain things that they're willing to be okay with because it's a certain series. But I didn't really much care for it for this film, and I thought people would be mad about this superhero, but a lot of the Dragon Ball fans are like okay with it because they're just getting more content. That's all they really care about for the most part, But it didn't really bother me. The fights were really cool, and
that part Sean Schemmel's poor lungs, bro,
his probably is that his most famous line, because I hear it all the time.
Which one?
I will not. I
will not let you destroy my world. I
was like, that was in this movie.
Good.
Oh, the people must have like.
There's a behind the scenes one where he's voicing it and stuff, and God, it just looks. He sounds so good, and he looks. The animation looks so good.
Yeah,
I
was like, that was this movie. I'm like, so great. And I always knew what that line was. I just didn't know what movie or what show, like where it was from. So it was cool to see that moment and the fight go on. But it was also like funny, like how chill. When I saw this poster and my knowledge about this movie, that villain Beerus. Jesus, I keep messing that up.
You're good. Don't worry.
Beerus.
You'll get the hang of it.
I like from the sideline. I was like, to me, I thought he was gonna be like more intimidating or like pure evil, but he was
Yeah.
like kind of chilling for like half the movie.
He's a very Akira Toriyama villain.
And it was funny. I'm like, when he's gonna explode at any second, and I'm just like waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
And this movie was surprisingly funnier than I thought it would be. 'Cause, like,
Good.
And Bulma being drunk, I'm like, oh no, here it comes. He's gonna like, he's gonna rip her guts out.
Like Edgar. So Edgar, we were watching real quick before we get on to the annoying part. How did you think of the Goku Super Saiyan 3 battle where he just like wrecks him? Did you like that?
Yeah, it was cool. I
Yeah.
figured he was gonna lose like the first fight. I just didn't think
Yeah.
it'd be that hard. And I'm like, and apparently, these transformations are supposed to be god tier like already, but it's just supposed to demonstrate that it's not enough.
Super Saiyan 3 is specifically problematic because it's very tiring on the user, and you can only use it for a specific amount of time. That's why you don't see it a lot in the series, is because he can only use it in those specific moments.
Cool.
But yeah, so Edgar, when Beerus was coming to the planet, Edgar said, well, just don't make him annoyed or angry. And I was like, oh, Edgar, you don't know how annoying and angry some of Akira Toriyama's characters can be.
Everyone sucks, man. Vegeta is like, he's sweating so much. I'm like, bro, take a chill pill.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the party, and I'm like, oh wait, crap.
Yeah.
Why are people? They should like unfriend Boo
Yeah.
because he sucks. It's like, why do we hang out with you?
Such good character development from Vegeta, though, right? He's now able
like
to like embarrass himself freely.
I never thought I would see Vegeta sing, but I was
Exactly.
like, what is happening?
And it just goes to show that Dragon Ball Z was really Dragon Ball Z's the pure arc it's Vegeta's story arc. That's one of the major parts of Dragon Ball Z, all the way from the Saiyan Saga to the Buu Saga, of becoming not more like Goku, but more someone who is more free-willed.
It's just great, and it's nice to see like these big families like kind of just hanging out,
Yeah.
considering how big characters there was in their own series, which is
Exactly.
kind of cool. So it was like an Avengers type thing where like all these characters from before are all hanging out, like having a picnic, like Fast and the Furious family style, which is, and then like
Family.
yeah, family.
Well, go follow Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and
I just loved how annoyed you were getting at Boo. It tickled me so much.
Bro, I was like, this guy
dude,
sucks.
get this out of here.
like, I'm gonna go to this scream. I'm like, what the?
Edgar said at the end, like he was like, oh, I guess I won't destroy the Earth today. And Edgar like acted out the scene where he imagined Boo would go, and
this guy sucks, and then like he's like, Beerus is like, I had it, like just
and destroys the Earth. Yeah, it was like, shut this guy up.
That's all it takes. I'm like, because he's like a ticking time bomb, like in this party.
Literally.
And like Vegeta's trying to like hold it all together, and you also, I didn't recognize Krillin because he had hair on.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I guess. I'm like, and then God, these also annoying. They weren't annoying, but I was like, bro, can we like, how does no one see these guys? The small, what was his name? Like blue guy.
Oh, Pilaf.
Pilaf.
He's the first villain in all of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I knew that because I saw like 3 episodes of the original. And I'm like, this guy, you're still after the Dragon Balls? Like, how lame, man.
He's one of Akira Toriyama's favorite characters. He hasn't been in the story since like chapter 30 of OG Dragon Ball.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but Akira Toriyama wanted to go back to his roots. And now we get towards the finale where, obviously Gohan and Videl, they appear that they
Vegeta's
have a
fight.
baby.
Yeah, he like,
Vegeta's fight too.
Yeah, because he smacks. He like, I don't want to say the word, but he slaps Bulma like lands a good one on her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. And then he like powers up and he like actually like makes him hurt. I'm like, wow, I guess he's stronger than Goku because like Goku couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
Really cool. But I know it's like a meme that like anytime like Vegeta gets any progression, Goku comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
And because like Vegeta just gets stomped on immediately afterwards.
Spoiler alert, that's not getting old anytime soon.
Oh, really? Well, it happened like when I was like noticing it, but it's glad to know that's not happening anymore.
Yeah. Oh, no, it is still happening.
Oh, really? Oh, what? Oh,
even in the recent manga.
Yeah, that's what
people are very angry about.
That's exactly what I'm hearing. So I was like,
yeah.
oh, I guess this is it. It's like one of the small moments.
Although he is getting, I hope he will get his moment eventually. But yes, so Vegeta, don't touch my Bulma, and he overpasses Goku for like 5 seconds. and he stands his own. But then Goku comes back, and then they figure out about the Super Saiyan God transformation. Edgar, what do you think about the transformation?
It was really cool. I thought they were going to be fusioning together, but I guess they just need to transfer energy.
Yeah.
5 Saiyans, or was it 6?
It was
6
5 plus 1. 1 to receive.
Okay, yeah. 5 to transfer, energy, Super Saiyans, onto, whoever is going to be, the Super Saiyan God, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And that is the new official form. Is it used in the next series?
It's used but
Did they go higher than that, or do they use a different
Yes, they
version?
go higher than that. So the next movie...
It's Ultra, right?
Which
Super Saiyan Ultra? Or
No.
something?
So the next
Ultra?
movie, and we'll talk about... The next movie isn't necessarily that great.
Oh, boy.
It's called Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan in the next one.
And then I'm only one is to assume that the next one is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God.
Super Saiyan, yeah.
Like-
They ended up abbreviating it to Super Saiyan Blue, which is the big new form for a while. Then as the series goes on, they get to the Tournament of Power, and Ultra Instinct becomes a thing.
Yeah, that I've heard that. Like,
And that's
a
the
lot.
second best transformation in all of Dragon Ball behind the original Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
However, we won't see it in any of these movies because Goku hasn't mastered it in Broly either.
The red hair was cool.
Yeah.
And the red eyes were cool.
What's also very interesting about this transformation is in Dragon Ball, usually when they transform more, their muscles get bigger. In this one,
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, in this one, he gets sleeker because he's a god, so he becomes slimmer but more powerful, which I
Nice.
really like. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's very
I
fascinating.
kind of don't like the oversized. I'm not a fan of oversized hunk of muscles. Like
I don't
design.
think Akira Toriyama is either. There's that arc in there's that part in the Cell Saga where Trunks grows more powerful and uses bigger muscles to fight Cell, and Cell acts like he's defeating him, and Cell's like, just kidding, you're actually too slow because you're too fat with all those muscles. So Akira Toriyama has been, in a lot of his interviews, has stated that he is a mangaka with less is more, and you can really see that with his transformations, right?
Yeah.
Just only a golden hair. When Frieza transforms into his final form, he's just his base form without the horns. And Beerus even. He's just a skinny cat he's also designed after his own cat, Beerus. He also has a
really?
cat named Beerus.
Yeah.
And
I thought he just looked like an Egyptian god, like
yes.
like Anubis. I forget which one's the one.
Yeah, he is like
cat
that.
god,
But Akira Toriyama has a naked cat.
A Sphinx cat.
Yeah, Sphinx cat. Yeah, who he designed that off of. But that's great. So I just thought it was very fascinating and interesting that Akira Toriyama, because Dragon Ball GT so out there in the a lot of people like Super Saiyan 4. I don't like it personally. I think it's too wacky. It's too like he gets fur on his. I just.
Oh,
think
is that
it
his
looks-
transformation
that's
that they introduced in that?
in GT, and that's like the only saving grace of GT. I think it's cool. I don't think it fits Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just him transforming into this. I think was interesting. Did you like the dichotomy of like the psychological views of Dragon Ball, right? So, and it may be hard to miss for somebody who like hasn't watched.
I'm like there were deeper meanings and themes in this. I
so-
was like,
yeah.
I just saw two guys fight and
Yeah.
juke it out on the screen.
So
like,
Goku is someone who is always trying to gain more power. He's trying to better himself as a fighter, so that he can better himself, but also protect his friends and family. But in this part, you remember the part where where Beerus is like, "How do you like the new power?" And he's like, And,
I don't like it because I was given it.
because I was given
I
it
didn't earn
and
it.
I didn't earn it.
Yeah.
And that, like, just the dichotomy, and Beerus takes a fascination to that and begins to train him and teach him.
Yeah, he talks to
you
him like
know?
he's training him. And
Exactly.
He's like, I'm impressed. He's like, I look forward to your progression or something like that.
And I don't think the fight between Goku and Beerus is too like it's visually amazing in some places, but in some
But the
places
stakes
it's
aren't
not.
like the stakes aren't like this is the end of the world.
Exactly.
Like even though
No.
he's saying I'm gonna destroy
Yeah.
the world,
Not
but it's
in
not
like Broly. In Broly, it's like and
Yeah.
everything's blowing up, and and
Yeah.
it's like these gods are fighting. But in this, it's a little bit slower at sometimes.
And it's more
and,
casual than I thought that would have been a bad thing, but that wasn't.
No, and I think it was saved because of that.
Yeah.
Because the fight was more interesting because of that. Because of that. But I really like the end where Beerus is like, I just want to hear you say you give up. And Goku's like, okay, I give up. And Beerus takes that and he's like, I have a fascination towards you. And I think that this is just in the opinion of a Dragon Ball fan who didn't have new content for years upon years, any opinion that you have of the super anime or the super manga, what a restart.
Yeah.
What a comeback.
That and like they build up Beerus like, oh, I'm super powerful, and then it's like Whis, oh yeah, he was my teacher. I'm like,
yeah, and Whis is stronger than me.
Yeah.
And he also says that there are other universes, So he's just telling Goku.
It's a great setup for future. He's like,
yeah,
he's like, we're back, baby. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah,
and he's just telling Goku, hey man, you're not the strongest, and Goku's like, well, here we go.
For now.
And then, exactly. For now. And that's why, a lot of people talk about Superman versus Goku. Goku isn't as strong as Superman. And that's why I love him.
And Goku has to work out.
Exactly. And Goku has to try, unlike Superman, which makes him more fascinating.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was really cool. But honestly, my favorite moments was like the party and the chill moments.
Good.
And seeing Beerus like and Whis like this is tempura, yummy. And and they're just like eating. It's like I like to see like something like that in like the like always like Thanos just like walking into an Avengers like party is like tasty. I'm gonna destroy this world if like y'all don't do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It was kind of fun and it was cool to see the characters that I kind of recognized finally. Not getting context obviously because they're not explaining everything, but like hey, I know who Trunks kind of is. I'm like wait. Trunks is little, but I thought he was supposed to be older. And I was like, oh, but that's before the future or something like that. Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, that's small like, Gohan. Like, that's small Goku. Like, oh, that's Goten? Well, he looks exactly like Gohan. Goku.
Gohan has a Superman alias, as a superhero
I was like,
alias.
what?
Yeah. But Gohan's married?
Yeah, I was like, that was crazy.
About to have baby? Yeah.
And then Gotenks, which is like funny.
Yeah.
Is that a common thing? Because they named it like it was a common thing.
Gotenks?
Yeah.
Yes. So the fusion between Goten and Trunks is Gotenks. And that happens in the Buu Saga. The Buu Saga is all about fusion, and you have Gotenks, and then you have Vegito. Which is the Batara earring fusion between Vegeta and Goku.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of the coolest characters in all of Dragon Ball.
Nice.
Yeah,
but pretty cool. You said the next one's not as good.
Yes, the next one's
But either
Resurrection
way,
of F.
I'm not as begrudgingly looking forward. I'm not. Because I was like, I
know. I was like, Edgar, let's just try it this week, and then if you don't like it,
but I'm not
week,
not so much. I'm not like that anymore. I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. Yeah, not that I'm gonna watch it or like read more into it. Maybe like Ben suggested the manga.
I think these movies will be. I think these movies will show that you're caught up enough. I think if we watch these movies, you'll be caught up enough for superhero.
Okay.
So yeah, the only thing you really need. Other than that is the Tournament of Power, but that's long and you don't have to watch that. I might just show you some clips of Goku turning into Ultra Instinct.
Is that the one where he takes off his clothes and like super weighted or something like that?
Yeah, that's the the theme where it's like bam, 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 and like anybody dodges anything like on the internet, like that theme plays. Yeah, it's a huge meme.
Yeah, but it was nice. It's a pleasant surprise. I did not think it'd be as enjoyable. I thought it was just be like snoring through it, but it was good. Yeah,
good. Awesome.
I can't wait for the next. Well, I mean, we'll see about the next one. But either way, I can't wait for more in general.
Yeah. Come back next week and watch us talk about. Resurrection
I didn't
F.
hate it. What'd you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh
yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
great.
Fun.
Either way,
yeah,
we'll see you guys.
Do you want to give? Like,
I was like, I don't know how you wanted to end it.
Do you want to give like what do you think is gonna happen next movie?
Next movie?
It's called The Resurrection of F.
Well, F is gonna get resurrected.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all.
We'll catch you guys
And
next
there's some
week.
Dragon Balls.
And there's some Dragon Ball somewhere. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll catch you guys on the next Manga Monday show.
See ya.